Hi, I'm Julie. My next guest is Jennie Domingo, and she was in the group Rank Makers with me, and we met live at Rank Makers event in Orlando, Florida in 2019. And she has something to say, to share her experiences with us. So Jennie, welcome, and please share your story with us.
Oh, thank you so much for this opportunity to be on your platform. I'm like super excited. So I am Jennie. I was part of I was part of Rank Makers for like 5, 6 years, and I was part of a multi-level marketing as well. I was part of two multi-level marketing actually. One was dealing with life insurance, and the other one with health and wellness. So, my story would be with my experience with multi level marketing. I got sucked in because I was just like, I needed fast money. I was a new mom at the time, too. And, my whole family was part of like businesses of their own. So I thought, oh, what a cool way to be part of the family tradition type thing. Because us as Filipinos, um, we have this thing where our future is already set. You're either a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer, a business owner, or something of the sort. So, so me, I'm like, oh, how life insurance WFG was presented to me was through my god sister, and she became my kid's godmother too because I was like, oh my god, this opportunity is so awesome. And during my experience with WFG, I actually became a heavy recruiter. Um, I did have to pay for my own licenses and I had to pay for the tests and all that stuff. Little did I know of scams or even like these pyramid schemes, whatever. They threw the jargon around, but I was still new to the industry, so I didn't know what the heck a scam was or a pyramid scheme was. I was just thinking like, oh, it's just probably jargon that they use. But from being with the company for 3 years, I started noticing myself the the deceit that happens within behind the scenes. And when I started noticing, I was just like, oh my God. And then talking to other people that's been in the company for a while, started, they do the little drop in gossip type thing. And then that's when you start realizing, like, oh, these people got stories for days. And from there, I was just like, I went to the convention. I was just like, oh my God, it's so amazing. I met amazing people there too. Some of them I actually still am in contact with. They still became like good friends with me even when I left. I was so afraid of losing a whole network of people that I've worked really hard to develop these relationships with, right? But out of the hundreds of thousands that I've met, I've actually took on a friendship of maybe one person, literally. And I was just like, okay, well, no, not one person, but a few people. But one person stands out the most because she has helped me throughout my whole entire like WFG journey. And we're still friends. So I'm grateful for that because if it wasn't for multi-level marketing, there's the self-development aspect that I appreciate. I just don't appreciate the manipulation part of the self-development process. But other than that, like, not a lot of bad things happen in my experience. I can't say like, oh, I was treated so poorly with my upline or anything. However, I was treated as though I was a numbers person, like I'm a moneymaker type of what do you say, a downline. When they see your connections, your network, and all that stuff, it's like, oh, I can make $1 bajillion off this one or two persons. If they bring like three people like them, they're gonna bring six more people like them, and so on and so forth. So fast forward, after I left, I was like, I'm taking a break because I didn't like the fact of how some of these people in the higher ups in WFG were doing business or conducting business. So I was just like, no, I'm out of here. I can't do this. I don't want to do this. And then how some people actually get scammed out of their money with life insurance. And I vowed myself, like, you know what, if this would happen to other people, I wouldn't want that to happen to me, because I have a family myself. I'm a mother of 4 children, and I can just only imagine if I applied for a policy, I wouldn't want to be jeopardizing my livelihood to thinking my family's going to be taken care of once I'm gone. Because there's a lot of stuff that happens where there's little loopholes that people don't really read. Like, there's fine prints in these policies that you need to really read. And I'm appreciative and I am grateful of the knowledge I got from doing life insurance. Now I know what to look out for. Now I understand certain policies, and I understand, you know, to navigate what I need to do when it gets to like the legal stuff. So it kind of gave me a benefit of being part of that. And then once I left, I was like, you know what? I am so done. I don't want to do multi-level marketing anymore. I don't want nothing to do with this, like, ever. So when I went to college, I had a high school friend that, kept on looking on my social media and stuff, because I was posting my projects from college, because my major is business management and fashion merchandising. So I wanted to do the business part, the public relations part, marketing aspect, so all of that. So when I was posting on social media, she messaged me. This is typical too. Hey, girl, I see that you're doing great. You're in college. How are things? I'm like, it's amazing. We had like a 30-minute conversation, right? All of a sudden, she's like, you know what? I think you're going to do great with this opportunity. Do things great with this opportunity. That should have been a red flag when you hear opportunity. But she didn't do the Ray Higdon style, but we'll get to that. It didn't do Ray Higdon style yet, but wait. So from there, she was telling me about the company, how it's great. She even sent me links and everything. So I checked it out. I'm like, okay, I'll check it out, whatever. And right away when I looked at the whole like thing of it, like all the information, I was like, this is a scam. This is a scam. And she's like, no, it's not. I'm like, you're still building, you're still recruiting. And she's like, yeah, but it's different. This company is all about, relationship development. They do charities, they're building, orphanages and third world countries and all that stuff. And I'm a sucker for those that do things for other people. I'm the type of person that loves to do some type of like charity work type of thing, like helping others. I'm always about that, and I love being part of something that's like a movement or something. And so I got sucked in. I was like, no, it's a scam, whatever. But then she's like, oh, but you should speak with my upline. So I was like, okay. I'm like, let me see what goes on with this. So I met with her upline. He happened to be amazing the first day. Okay. He happened to be amazing. So he was talking to me and whatnot. And I was like, okay, he seemed like he had a good conversation. So from there, I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll come in. It happened to be the day that I came in, I got fired from my job. I was working for Massage Envy. I got fired from my job, right? This is a cake on icing right here. I got sick, right? And I went to go see him. So when I went to go see him at his shop, because he's a what was he? He was a graphic designer, so he had his own shop. So from there, he actually started feeding me supplements and educating me at the same time. But see, I was so sick that I wasn't thinking what I was consuming. I was just like, oh, I'm starting to feel better. Yeah, these products are amazing. So, as he sat me in front of the computer, he started telling me about the company, the vision, the mission, and these people, how it is so amazing to be part of this type of, organization. And our owners, or yeah, our owners of this company are all about um all about God, and they're amazing people that do missionary work and all that stuff, which is true. They do missionary work and they're actually really awesome in real life. Like, they're not smug or anything, or egotistical, or or mean type of people, because they're the ones that created the company, right? But they are very religious people, I would say. um from there, I was just like, you know what, I'm starting to feel better after being there for like an hour of him just feeding me information and stuff. But I didn't realize that that was part of the distraction on getting you sucked in, because he was so great. And then that's when I was just like, you know what, maybe I could try this again, because I feel like, not all companies are the same, right? So when when he got me to just be convinced, I was just like, okay, well, let me think about it and all that stuff, and then I'll get back to you, right? Jubilee. I'm sorry, guys. I told you. Okay. All right. Sorry.
Okay, I can edit this out, no problem.
Okay. So, no, I'll just leave it in there, because then you know what? It's better that way, because then it flows better. It's more natural.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So from there, I was like, okay, I'll get back to you and all that other stuff. So a week later, I was just like, okay, you know what? Let me give it a try. And so once I did it, I didn't go for like the biggest pack or anything, because I didn't have money, So I went for just the cheapest way is just to basically have a membership, just to have like a starter kit or something. So I had the starter kit, right? And sometimes when I watched other people like with their success and everything, they're like, oh, I invested in the biggest package and stuff, and look what happened with me being with For Life and all that other stuff. And I was like, oh, I wish I had $5,000. Maybe I'll make my first 100,000 with $5,000 investment, right? So I was just like, okay, let's see what happens with this. Maybe this time it'll work for me. I'm like, I've been a great recruiter. What's gonna hurt? And oh my god, that hold on 1 second, sorry.
That's okay.
I have Give me 1 second. Oh my goodness.
It's okay.
This is insane, you guys. This is what happens in everyday life. Oh my god. This is just You guys are gonna enjoy this interview. Trust me. There's more. It just has a whole lot of personality in this. Okay, you need to bring them upstairs. I'm on an interview right now. I'm live right now.
Okay,
Okay, I'll have you. Yes.
what's the room number?
359. 359. Okay. Sorry. Julie, you need to answer the door, okay? Okay, and don't be so loud. Okay. So so I did the thing, right? So the first thing, I don't know if this is everyone, but I know I was told to take down or write down 100 names, list down 100 names. Each of those names you're gonna call. And I'm just like, man. And I saw the type of people I had, and I didn't realize that that's the type of network I had built. And I was just like, oh, these are like, these are heavy hitters. I can actually make a bunch of money. So I started doing the list and everything, and I did the steps where they were like, call, um, invite them to the call, invite them to the presentation, and then sign them up or something like that. I know there was like 4 steps. I think I'm missing. I'm missing something. So there's steps, right? So as I was going through that, I started to build my network, and I was just like, oh, fast forward 6 months, I wound up recruiting my best friend. So me and my best friend, we basically built his leg to seventh generation. So he was my strongest only leg. Like we just grew that leg. And then I had my directs. But see, my directs, they weren't as active. So I just started focusing my energy on my best friend because he was the one that was the most like bringing people in and stuff. So I was told always work with someone that is going to work with you on building the empire. So me and my best friend, we were up day and night, literally, like we were just day and night. My upline happened to be my high school friend, the one that got me in. um as time goes, me and my upline, with along with my best friend, we wanted our relationship started to crumble a bit. So me and my best friend actually stood like together, because of course that's my best friend, and we just basically withered my best friend, my up our upline. We weathered my upline a bit, because she wasn't really active, and to us we felt, you know what, you're just here for the accolades. This is not even your team. This is supposed to be our team. But she kept on claiming my team, and I'm like, no, I am your team. It became the whole egotistical type of thing, like, no, we are your team. What do you mean? So it became, a little destructive there. So we basically like said, you know what, we started having like little problems of communication. And from there, um we built our team. I'll text you guys later. We built our team, and we were successful. Here's my grandson, you guys.
Oh my
This
goodness.
Ja.
My goodness.
I'm her daughter. I'm
Okay,
Jubilee.
this is Jubilee. Okay.
My name's
So
Julie too.
Pretty good.
okay. And then from there, uh we built, but then along the line of my of one of our generations, she actually sabotaged the bottom leg. She intervened and sabotaged one of our leaders. And I was so mad. Like, I was so mad. And I was like, how can she do this and stuff like that? And I was just like, you know what? I had enough of this drama, whatever. So I did everything I could to get out. So I was like, you know what? I don't even want her to be my upline. I'd rather, her upline, which is who became my mentor. um, I said, you know what? I'd rather be up under you because I'm the one working with you most of the time, because he was mentoring us. So I said, it makes more sense if I just go under you, if I somehow just transfer. So we did the whole transfer thing, whatever. She was mad. And I was just like, because you know what? To me, I feel like you weren't even serious about building. I'm like, you're just relying on us to get you paid. Because how I was told, whatever's in the bottom trickles up. So I'm just like, no, we work very hard for us to get the money that we're even making. We're trying to make the money, and you're getting more out of us for doing nothing, you know? So I'm just like, hell freaking no. No, we're not doing that. So as I was working with him, I stood with him, I succeeded a little bit more, but I didn't make as much. I still was recruiting people, but not as fast as I used to. Within the 6 months that I was part of the company, I was fastest growing. I grew fast. And that's when people are like, "Oh, I know who you are," type thing, and whatever. Of course, when somebody says, "Oh, you're Jennie, you're under so and so's leg. Oh my god, I heard so much about you." And the ego, it strokes it, and it's like, "Oh, you know who I am? Oh, look at the kid. That's your kid too." So from there, I worked with him for a bit, and I was like, okay, I grew. But then once, like I said, I came to Florida, my whole organization fell. Like as soon as I left Chicago, because I came from Chicago, my whole organization just fell. And I was just like devastated because I'm like, we worked so hard, and oh my god, I started like, I don't think I can do this. It's not for me. I said, you know what? I'm going to rebuild again. I can do this. I can rebuild again. as I was here for what, going on 6 years being in Florida, I tried to rebuild and rebuild until I said, never mind, forget it. I think what made me leave multi-level marketing is when I started seeing your videos, when you started speaking out, because I know you were all about Monet and everything. There was a point where I was just like, hey, well, what do you suggest for my hair? I was just, because I was just like, what, I'm gonna ask, because her hair, Julie's hair is just so fabulous. Like shit, I see all her freaking videos, and her hair is just like, oh my god, so flawless, so healthy. And I was just like, man. But then, going back before I left multi-level marketing, I didn't tell you guys how I got into rank makers. So how I got sucked into rank makers is through my mentor. He had told me that, what was it, one of the people that are one of our cross lines or something that's in New Jersey. He's super known. I'm not going to say his name because he's still part of the organization, but he's from Jersey. And he told me that there's this group of people, if you listen to Ray Higdon. And I was like, who the heck is Ray Higdon? Who is this Eric Worre? Like, who are these people? Right? And I got the book GoPro. That was given to me. Along with our system builder book. Okay. I read GoPro, and I was just like, oh, good information about recruitment, go for no type thing. And I was just like, oh, okay. I said, this guy is not so bad, but to me, I felt like his content was boring anyway. Like, I don't know. I couldn't feel myself to follow Eric Worre. That should have been a red flag, right? And then when I got introduced with Ray Higdon with his Ray Dailies, I was like, oh, so I started watching some of his videos and stuff through Facebook and whatnot, because I was told, watch Ray Higdon, go follow him. Okay, fine. Followed the man. I was like, okay, oh, I like what he's doing. Oh, he's really like simple with his teachings. Like, I actually get this. I understand it. And I can relate. I can comprehend, right? And I was just like, oh, it's amazing how he teaches stuff. And I'm like, man, all right. And my mentor was like, you know what? If you go into his membership, you'll actually get more stuff than just this stuff on Facebook. He actually has a group where he teaches people more advanced stuff. We all know advanced stuff, right? We're like, oh, he got the exclusives. Oh, he's going to teach us stuff that nobody else has. So what he's sharing is just, bits and pieces just for you to just, go into his group. So I was like, you know what? $20 ain't bad. I mean, I'm working. I can do that, right? So I joined his group. I was in and out of it for like maybe 6 months or so, because I didn't know how to navigate around, with the whole thing, because I think he was still fairly new at that time too. So I was just like, oh, it's not so bad, whatever. And then a handful of us, even our platinum from For Life, was the one raving about Ray too. So I was like, oh, since Jeff is part of it, I guess it's legit, because he got a whole big network. I mean, he's just, he's growing like a huge network. I mean, he's a platinum for a reason, right? So I was like, okay, whatever. And let me tell you, I was confused at the first time when I entered the membership, and I was just like, you know what? I get used to this. I just gotta, play with it or something. What got me mostly super active is when I kept seeing you on Friday celebrations. When every on Fridays, what was it? Was it like Friday celebration or something, or something Fridays? There was a theme. I forgot the theme. And I always saw you in there smiling with the shirt, with the pink shirt.
Oh, the pink shirt.
And it's just like your smile every time. I'm just like, oh my God. I was just like, it's amazing. I'm like, it's amazing. I was just like, oh, I can do this too. I never posted like a Friday celebration or anything. I was just enjoying everybody else's. But you, it's like the first time I see you, every time I'm like, you know what, Julie makes my day, like every time. And so I started going more active. I'm like, okay, what else is Julie doing? Because I'm like, I've seen some stuff like, oh my God, Julie, you're amazing type of thing. So I'm like, oh, she must be a big deal in rank makers. So let me see further. So I started to see like the 14-day challenges you were in. And I was like, oh man, she makes amazing content. Oh, she's on TikTok. Oh, I should do that too. So I went on TikTok because I was like, you know what? If Julie's really like building a community, I want to build a community too, because that was the influence you had on me, you know. And there was a lot of things you've done that was in rank makers that I felt it was amazing, that I wanted to just follow everything you did, because I was just like, you're an amazing leader, you know? So I was just like, okay, so I'm gonna follow her on TikTok too and whatnot. This is before you had a lot of followers, I think. I think you were just starting too. So I was like, well, I'm gonna be part of the bandwagon. I'm gonna be part of Julie's community. And then from there, I was just like, okay, awesome. Like my experience was amazing, whatnot. But then there were times that I should have saw as a red flag where Mr. Ray Higdon was losing his shit. And I just didn't understand why he would yell at us sometimes. And I'm just like, why are you yelling at us? Well, what the heck did we do? You know? And it was just, I was just like, damn, that's daddy talking to us, I guess. And I was just like, you know what? I highly respect this man because he knows what he's talking about. He's been part of the industry. You know, it's whatever. So of course, I brushed it off because I didn't think nothing of it. And I grew a lot of respect for him because how he was having people getting results, how he was helping people, you know, the charisma he had, the compassion. And to me, I felt like he was an awesome leader. Like, oh my God, this dude is a freaking genius. Like, oh, I should use this. Did you know I've invested a lot of money in rank makers? I've even got all the scripts, even the updated one. Okay. I even have the rank makers pen somewhere. Okay. That's how much. I even have his time, money, freedom book. Okay. That's how sucked in I was. And then look at the shirt. I have this one. I have this one, and I have the other one. Be the reason. I have that one too. Okay. I have that one too. And it's and then here's the kicker part, right? While I was being active, I was like, oh, this is so cool, whatever. I watched all of the 14-day challenge, and then I actually entered one, but then I saw that you didn't finish one of them. I don't know if that was the one that I had joined, or I don't know if that was the one that I don't know if that was the one that you had stopped completely when you were about to leave, or you actually stopped in middle, because I know I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it. I'm just gonna try it because I wanted to started the conversation like, hey Julie, what do you think of this and that, you know, just to get a peer-to-peer observation type thing, and then just to, you know, get that feedback of improvement, you know what I'm saying? And what better way to just talk to Julie, because she's awesome at creating content. Julie, watch him. Put him on the floor. Put him on the floor. And I was just like, oh, okay. When once what was it? I think I begged my husband I needed to be at the Rank Makers event. I was like, babe, it's important for me to be here. I need to be here because this is going to be an amazing event, you know. And plus, I was told, oh, by our platinum, like, oh, you know, this is going to be a great event to come to network with other people, get to know other people from different sides of the country, whatever, whatnot, right? So I was like, okay, it's going to be great. And plus, I needed to get out the house because I was a stay-at-home mom too. So I was like, you know what? Babe, this is going to be important. I really, really want to do this. I think this is going to be beneficial. Maybe this is something I need to grow or something. So that day, I even have pictures. I still have the pictures to look at. And I'm just like, I can't believe, you know, after 5 years that I was just sucked into this cult. And it's crazy because when I look back, I'm like, man, I did meet a lot of people. I've met you over there. I even was like, at that time, I even met Stacy Hall. Oh my god, she's so amazing. I met Jennifer, Rayla. And that's how I was like even more active after the event, when I started seeing her that she became a coach. I was like, oh my god, she's amazing. I came across, I should have seen this as a red flag too. I had one person that was part of Inner Circle. She told me that she was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave Rank Bakers. This is not for me. And I was like, why? This is such an amazing event, stuff like that. She's like, you just had no idea what's going on with Inner Circle. And as she was telling me stuff, I didn't understand at the point where she was just like, they only do like 30-minute, like once a week coaching call. And they don't even tell you any strategies whatsoever on how to grow your network. They're just all like unpaid therapists, and I was just like, well, maybe that's their process, because I didn't know, I didn't understand. And I'm over here trying to justify how Ray's Rank Makers is gonna be amazing and whatnot. And she's just like, yeah, but we're still friends. We're still good friends. And she's just like, I'd rather go with some other coach that actually would give me results. I haven't had results. And she's been with Inner Circle for quite some time, she said. And she's like, I'm not paying $1,300 to be in a group that a coach calls me once a week for 30 minutes talking about nothing. And I was like, oh, I thought they go over like results or. And she was like, she had switched like maybe 2 or 3 coaches, and it's the same thing. It's like it didn't help her. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's different experiences for everybody. Then what was it, at the event I met, oh no, not I did I meet her in real life? I think I did. No, yeah, I did. I saw Marina. I became obsessed with Marina. Oh my god, I loved her, but I met her prior from Rank Makers. I went to Bob Heilig's event, the summer summit or something like that. I went to that, and I actually won a year coaching with him.
No
In
way.
his group, a whole free membership, a whole year. And I was like, oh, I was so like, oh my god, this is amazing. But I was just like, man, I didn't understand any of the stuff that he was teaching for that whole entire year. I had no idea what the hell I was doing in there. All I know is I was just watching. I used some of the strategy, but I just wasn't understanding. And I was just like, why the fuck am I here? And then I was just like, okay, you know what? Whatever. So I dealt with the whole, oh, this person was 22 years old. Oh my God, built a multi-level marketing, company and stuff. And I was just like amazed. Wow, 22? Wow, that must be like, geez. But her family was rich anyway. So of course, like they say, in order for you to make money, you have to have money, right? So I actually was like seeing how Marina built her coaching. Is it coaching? Yeah, Mom in Heels. So I was just like, oh, I looked into it. I was obsessed with Marina for like the longest. And I wanted coaching from her because I felt, she spoke my language. She was down to earth, laid back. She was super real to me, super, super real. Nothing I felt was a red flag with her at the time or whatnot. But I was just like, man. And it got to a point where I actually got a picture with her. I was like, oh my God, Marina, can I please have a picture with you and stuff like that? Just raving. And I was just like, oh my God. And then, being part of Rank Makers, I was like, oh my God, I'm starting to get a chance to surround myself with $1 million earners. Oh my God, I can pick their fucking brain.
Yeah.
And I felt it was such an honor, to be around her, just seeing her. And just, I even recorded all of her stage, what was it? Whenever she got on stage, I would like just record her. Right. And then I would listen to everything. I was like so hung over her words. Like I was just like, I hung on everything. Like I was just like in a trance type thing. Like, oh my God, she's amazing. That's all I could fucking say in my head. Oh my God, she's amazing. Like a damn fangirl, right? And then when Michelle Eldridge got on stage, I was just amazed at her story, and I was like, oh my God, if people like this with this type of background, like such traumatic events that's happening, and just the way she went from what being a it's so hard to say, being like a drug addict to now being a successful businesswoman in multi-level marketing. I'm like, oh my God. And she was coached by Ray. So I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But then I didn't realize, when I looked back at the videos that I was recording, I saw her face. And I was like, oh, this is not right. She looked like she didn't want to share this. And I'm like, you could see the uncomfortability that's happening on stage. And I'm just like, oh, this doesn't feel right. But again, at that time, I didn't know no better. I was just going with the flow. So from there with Ray, I was so honored to even, like, when he was sharing his story, how his stepmom stabbed him with a fork in his chest and everything, and how he had a traumatic childhood. I was there, on, I think me and my friends end up getting a seat like up front but adjacent to him on stage. And I was just sobbing. I was sobbing because the way how he told and shared the story, I felt the trauma, because I had a messed up childhood too, but I didn't get stabbed or anything, but I understood. I was able to relate to his trauma because I was there. I've been through that, And when we had a chance, as we were sharing stories and stuff, I came to the mic and shared how I felt his story, and I was still sobbing while talking in the mic, how I'm like, I can relate and everything. And boy, was I honored to get on stage to hug this man, like to hug him. I felt I hugged Jesus, for crying out loud. Okay, that's how I felt, or my experience was in Rank Makers. Like I just loved Ray so much. I was just like, oh my God, I hung on to every word he was saying. I felt everything he said. He was just Jesus to me, right? So as the event goes, I started meeting a lot of more people, and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I honestly was trying to find a way to be part of Inner Circle, knowing that I couldn't afford it, but I tried, because everybody in that event was going for Inner Circle. And I'm like, maybe I do need a coach. I was convinced I needed a coach, because I'm like, you know what? Maybe I just need that discipline. Maybe I just need that accountability partner type of thing to guide me, and hopefully lessen the procrastination that I'm doing. Because all of us procrastinate. I procrastinated. I still do. So, I mean, but it comes with motivation too. You have to have it within you. But then I'm just like, man, maybe a coach would do some good, whatever. I even got to a point where I was trying to figure out, even bargain with Marina for her to coach me. It's just like, that's how desperation happens when you feel like you're left out because you don't have the money for it. And then when I think of it, I'm like, man, I drove myself nuts trying to be part of the in crowd, and I was just like, how can I get myself sucked in this? And it's crazy. And I'm just like, I can't believe I spent so much money. And truth be told, I even went to my company's after Rank Makers. I even went to my company's event. It was here in Orlando, convention. I told my husband, I was like, babe, please, this is important, this and that. And my husband, he supports me in everything. Like, even if it's the craziest idea, he has my back. He'll be like, well, okay, if this is something you want, all right. I when I have urgencies and importance with it, then he invests. He actually helps me get the money, and he buys it, or he pays for it, right? I even went to other seminars. Even it got to a point where I even invested in learning NLP, even with hypnotism. Who does that? Because I wanted to be the best leader in network marketing ever, right? I wanted to become a coach type thing, right? Some type of authority on social media. That's how much investments I had in trying to build a business that is set up to make you fail anyway. So I did that, and then just like, my goodness, once I started realizing that I didn't want to be part of the group anymore, I think is when I started seeing your videos, and I was just like, whoa, what happened with Julie? Like, she hasn't been active in Rainmakers, and I looked forward to your videos on Fridays and stuff, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, she's not even here. So I'm like, oh, maybe she needed to step away for a bit. It's whatever, because you are actually really consistent from I think from the whole entire Rainmakers. You were the only face that I saw that was consistent. And I was just like, if Julie can do it, I can do it too. So after that, I was like, you know what? I can do this. I can be like another Julie. I can get on social media and whatnot. How I became consistent on social media, because I'm like, man, I don't know how Julie can do it. 'Cause I wasn't even brave enough to go live. Okay. And I was just like, man, she does live videos every day, like every single day. And at that time, I think that's when updates were happening. I didn't have the live button yet. I don't know if it was with Facebook that you had to have a certain amount of followers or something, or you had to wait for the update. So I couldn't go live yet, but I was watching your videos and everything, and I was like, man, this is cool. So I came across Video Matrix. So Video Matrix is basically this couple that we came across, and it was basically how to do live videos. So it was considered a video challenge. So it was a 30, 60, and 90. So every single day you had to go live, but she would post the topics of what we're going to speak every single day for 30 days. So from there, we, it's like that normal video where you introduce yourself and then you tell stories about whatever question it is. So it got to a point where some of the topics became super deep. So there was some topics that we went inside the group instead of being on publicly on Facebook. But this couple follows Ray Higdon, and I was just like, okay, so we're in a circle type thing, right? But they were an awesome couple and everything. I wouldn't take away from what they've created, because they did create a community. They did teach us and help us how to do live videos every single day. And I'm forever grateful for the knowledge that they gave us on being brave to be in front of the camera. But at the same time, from us telling our stories, the same thing what Ray has done to manipulate, you know and it became a point where we're just like, wow, we joined this community, we're thinking, but it segued badly to where we had to go with Black Ops. So Black Ops is like part of, I don't know if you heard of Darren Little.
No.
Okay, so Darren Little is one of, like, I guess he's a big time network marketer too. So he has a group that's called Black Ops, where you sell the system to a person for 13.99. So it's a system where you're making videos and stuff like that, or something like that. I forgot what Black Ops is, but it's another company. But you know, they did a good thing for us. Like, the challenge was free, and then all of a sudden they started charging people. They started charging people. So I was just like, oh. And then I didn't I didn't see that coming, and I was just like, man. And then how people were just giving feedbacks, like how they were tricked and everything, and I'm like, man, but this is so and so, like, how can they do this, because I was so sucked into how compassionate, how supportive, and how loving, and just you know sometimes they'll give us the beat downs and stuff, but I thought it was just part of the process, you know. And now they're not even active at all. Like, I don't see them anywhere on social media whatsoever. They don't even talk to me either, because like I invested in their membership too, but I was just like, I dish out $67 every month to not know anything. But because I believed in them as a couple, as a human, I was like, you know, I believe that this would help me grow in a way of making videos. And I was just like, you know, this probably is something that can help along the way. But then I was just scammed too. So I was just like, man. Then from there, I was like, you know what? When I started seeing your videos, and I started really diving deep into like what you guys were saying, like you and Jennifer, I was like, I need to leave. Like, I need to go. And then when I didn't see Jennifer at all, like within what 48 hours of like looking for content and stuff, because you know she usually does like the morning coaching calls or something like that. I didn't see her at all, like at all. And that's when I was just like, okay, that's suspect. What happened? And there was some stuff going on even with Michelle Eldridge and stuff. And I was like, how did she disappear? Like, she was all about Clubhouse. There you go. Clubhouse. She was all about Clubhouse. I even joined that because she's like, oh, this is an opportunity for you to get on the stage. It's not like a stage, but you get to network with other people, even with Grant Cardone and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, Grant Cardone? And I'm thinking like, oh, Ray is getting mentioned by him, so why not learn from the best? Because Ray, you know, is being taught by him, so maybe, you know, I can learn some pointers. I even joined the free video challenge as well with Grant Cardone. That's how obsessed I was about building my network, you guys. Now I feel so stupid for it. And all I can do is laugh.
That's good that you can laugh. That's good, because if it's not laughing, I know I'm crying at that time. So it's like, laughter is good, because I was the same
I'm
way.
crying the inside, you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's why you're wearing this shirt. It's awesome.
I'm
so
wearing
good.
this shirt because it reminds me how sucked in I was. I mean, granted, it is a nice. I mean, I paid $40.
It looks good on you. Yeah.
That's it. That's including. Thank you, and it's including shipping. Okay, I had to pay for shipping. And and I'm in Florida just like him, even though he was in like what, Fort Myers or something. I'm in Orlando. I'm like, geez, you would think, you know, you ease up on the delivery or whatever. But hey, I thought, you know what, if I wear this, anything is possible on recruiting. So I'm just like, man, but you know what? Honestly, with my whole experience being with multi-level marketing and rank makers, I know for a fact I don't want to coach like Ray ever, because honestly, I kept on trying to find my purpose within multi-level marketing, and the only reason why I joined it is because I wanted to have my own company. I wanted to start up my own company, which is, you know, either like an entrepreneurship type of like, you know, see, I had this dream, right? I wanted to build some type of like community, you know, within the women that's been, you know, that's been through like traumatic events, whether it's, you know, rape or, you know, drug abuse, anything within that, where they think, you know, because us women sometimes when we go through a lot of like even abusive relationships, you know, we think we're worthless because we're in this situation and we can't get out. And I wanted to build some type of something to make it where there's you know, counselors or even therapists ready for you to speak with, you know, just like provide resources for women to reclaim who they are, you know. And when I spoke about that type of dream to my mentor at the time, he made it into an awesome adventure of, you know what, this company can help you do that. Because when you make the money, imagine you working this multi-level marketing with this company, and you build so big that you don't have to borrow money ever, because you made the money yourself, where you can actually, you took this money from building a network to opening a legit company. So when he put it in that perspective, I was like, oh my God, you're absolutely right. So I do need to build as big and as fast as possible, because I want my dream to happen. And it's been a long 8 years. 8 years. And I thought even being part of Rank Makers, it would help me get closer at least a little bit to my dream too, because I thought, okay, well, I could learn some coaching perspectives or coaching techniques or anything from Ray, because he's actually coaching us. So I'm like, this would be a good experience for me, because this is something I want to get into. So I took it as I'm going back to college, right? I'm going back to hard knock like school. I'm going back to school, real life school, right? So I was just like, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, and I'm just going to learn as much as I can. For nothing, being part of Rank Makers too, with Jessica's videos, like her trainings, I actually attended one, which is the feminine energy one. That was interesting. That was
I can just imagine.
that was really interesting. I honestly sat there for a whole, what was it, 2 hours? I sat there for a whole 2 hours. Okay. I actually, if I had the notebook, I actually wrote notes. I took notes. And because I took such great notes, I actually shared it within the group that I was part of, which is the Video Matrix at the time too, because I was paying for a membership. And I was like, oh, this is going to be good to share with the group, blah, 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 and whatnot. Yeah, for nothing. I even took my time and day with Ray's 3 hour what was it, one Saturday event or something. Oh my God. And I went to Rank Makers events, like maybe I attended like twice. Yeah, I have it twice. So one was in person and one was online. Now, this is the interesting part. I don't know if anybody has been part of Rank Makers Live, the second one online. That, oh, let me tell you, that right there had changed my whole perspective, where I thought I needed to get out. I think that event made me want to get out. So there was a part in Rank Makers Live online. I started seeing new people and stuff, like new faces and everything. I think, yeah, Michelle Eldridge was still in it too. I'm trying to think what part. Oh, so there was this part, right, in Rank Makers laser coaching. I think he called it laser coaching. So I was like, oh, he's coaching people. Okay, so as I was looking and watching, I was like, this doesn't sound like network marketing coaching. Like, you're not giving any strategies on how to either become confident on prospecting or any of that. It turned into a therapy session. And to me, it's like how he presented it. He's like, this is not coming from me. This is from a space or something that's having me talk to you through me or something like that. So I think the words that he said is, you may have a problem, or you may have a relationship problem with your father or something like that. When the lady was just talking about she had issues on prospecting, or she's feeling a little less confident on talking to people online or something like that. And it turned into a whole therapy session, literally. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm like, that's probably, part of the process. I didn't think nothing of it. And when Jessica got on stage, when she did her part, it seemed to me like she kind of went the Ray Higdon role too, where she was like, well, I feel that what your problem is that your confidence is coming from something from childhood. what? Childhood? Okay. And we had these exercises too after these laser coaching, right? We had exercises in groups. So they put us in groups online. And we had to basically answer certain these questions or something. I had notes on it. I wish I had it. But maybe like next time along the way, we'll probably discuss how, these notes maybe. But I have almost everything of ring bakers with notes. And uh because like I said, I really thought this was something. And I'm a big fan of psychology. Even in college, I learned about how the brain functions and all that stuff. I got obsessed with it. I even have books. I got so like after that rank makers event, I was so like determined to like find where was Ray getting his knowledge from with all this stuff, and when it came to coaching. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna dive into psychology. That's probably where he's going at, maybe the NLP stuff, or this hypnotism stuff, because to me it's like he's using words. To me, I feel like that's a technique where you use words and then people just type of thing, and they'll be like, oh, that's probably it, knowing that's probably not it, you know so that's basically what my experience was like with rank makers and multi-level marketing. Like I didn't have it so bad where people treated me like crap, I wouldn't say, but probably after this they might.
It's coming, don't worry, it always comes.
And be like, Jennie, how dare you? It's like, no, this is my truth. Like, I'm sorry. Anything is possible.
Oh my God, yes.
So if you guys want to take anything from this entire video, even with my grandson being in it and my kid being in it, I hope you guys learn something from my story, or it can relate to it or something. But all I gotta say, guys, is just keep your eyes open, be aware of your surroundings, and know that your friends that you made in multi-level marketing are just transactional friendships. They're really not your friends. I know this because I lost a lot of them. And again, anything is possible. Yeah. So, any questions for me?
You know what? I do have some questions. You're
Okay.
you're so like you're so happy. It's so good to see. And you have like when you left, can you talk a little bit about how you've done like self-education, healing and stuff after kind of waking up? And you might not use that language. I use that language to describe my process of waking up. And then just how, because it's a lot, like to kind of like see how other people are being treated and then see things like that really stood out to you even at the time, but it wasn't enough to like get you out until only upon like looking back where it's like, that's not okay. That's what is going on here. Like that stuck out to you, that laser coaching where it became this therapist session where he is not a qualified therapist at all. He has no credential. He's not licensed, and yet he's messing around with people's psychology and he knows what he's doing. And that stood out to you. So could you like talk about some of that healing, like however you want to?
Definitely. Yes. So I believe it's one of your videos. I think when you talked about Steve Hassan, I think it was combating mind control. But I got the other book. Yeah, I got the other book. Yes, Freedom of the Mind. So I had that and Ponzi-nomics. So when you had recommended those books, I got on Amazon right away. And I ordered Freedom of the Mind and Ponzi-nomics. As I was reading Ponzi-nomics, I'm like halfway through the book. I still haven't finished it because I'm so pissed off, right? I am just so pissed off. Yeah. I never knew a book can piss you off so bad with the information that is given to you, because I'm like, oh, it even goes back to the whole Amway, Herbalife, because I think Amway and Herbalife are like the two biggest ones. And how I'm like, as I'm reading, I'm like, I look to my husband because he joined a network marketing too, but this is before we even happened. He was part of Amway, and I was just like, man. But see, he wasn't as deep as I was, so he's the smart one. He just allowed me to keep going because he didn't I guess he didn't experience what I experienced, being part of multi-level marketing or even being part of coaching, because he wasn't really into like that whole industry anyway. So he's a smart one. Yeah, I should be like him more so than often. um he when I was reading that, I was just like, man, how you can scam people on making money. And the thing is, when I started watching more of like that anti-MLM community content, like Aaron B's, I think it was Joe, is it Jojo?
Julie
Joe?
Joe.
Oh, Julie Joe. And then CC Suarez, I think you were the one that pointed me out to her too. I started watching their content. I was like, oh, and then that's how I came across on TikTok before even that, Justy Lee. Oh man, I followed that lady because I was intrigued by her freaking energy. She was all full of life to me, but then realized she was a scammer too. And she was part of Eric Worre.
Yeah.
She was the top earner. So that should have been a red flag automatic, right? I saw her on TikTok. That's how I came across the Jessie Lee. But then when I started, hearing about her stuff, I was like, no, this lady's bad news. Like she's terrible. And from there, I was like, okay. I started diving into a lot of psychology, like with books, like self-help, even with Rachel Hollis. She's one of them also, which fucking devastate me because I loved her books. I loved Girl Wash Your Face, and that book was everything to me until I found out that she just called, when I was part of network marketing, called us dumb, and even Ray Higdon was like, I think he said that he was gonna invite her to be like a guest speaker or something like that. And I was just like, oh my God, that'd be amazing. Cause I love Rachel. To me, I felt she was real, even though she was fake along the way along with her marriage. You just find out a lot of stuff. And as I'm looking through all this stuff and just realizing like, damn, I've believed in these people. I surrounded myself with all this knowledge from them and applying some of these things that they taught, and then to find out it was just all fake. It was not real.
Shelby ruined all these cards.
Yeah, I know, because you didn't put it in the box. And just to realize that. And then when you invest money into these people and into their stuff, right? Like the shirt. This is an investment. I didn't buy it just to buy it. I invested because I felt anything is possible, right? And I felt me wearing the shirt it's just I have more confidence in believing things will work out, right? And watching like your videos, even the one that took the cake for me is the one that you had with Jennifer when she was speaking about her meeting with Inner Circle with Ray, and how he was just, when I watched that interview, or when I was watching that meeting, I was like, at all, like, oh my God, that's when I started like, I can't, like, I just can't. And then how he turned other people against her because she wasn't having it, instead of taking it in a way of, well, in a different direction, to where he I don't know how to explain. He put words that didn't even exist. Let's put it that way. And trying to convince himself that he's actually doing good work when you're harming people. You're literally harming people. And I thank God I have a level of intelligence to decipher and be analytical and logical. To me, how I woke up is when I became analytical and when I became more logical. I started to think critically. and I started to dive into other things, like when it came into psychology. So my healing process was mainly a lot of reading self-help books that doesn't deal with any high powered known author or something, except for Stephen Hassan. Anyway, he's legit. He's literally legit, you guys. But like, if you read Ponzionomics, I mean, that was presented to me too when I was onboarding with multi-level marketing with For Life. And my mentor told me he twisted the perspective of Ponzionomic. He's like, well, you have your own opinion, but I know for a fact they're gonna say that multi-level marketing is a big scam, how it's you're not gonna succeed and all that other stuff. And I'm like, he's like, but everyone's different. Everyone is different. Everyone can be successful in this as long as they work hard. Okay. Being part of Rank Bankers, I thought I was showing up big. I thought I was playing ball. I thought I was playing real hard, and all that other stuff. And then even doing his, raise stuff. Hey, would you like to take a look at this opportunity? If not, no big deal. Hey, crazy follow-up. Hey, how you doing? I know it's been 6 months. Just seeing how you're doing. Just checking in with you. How's everything going? How's the kids? How blah, blah, blah. Oh, and by the way, my company is growing super huge. But you know what? I had this thing going on. If you join today with 0 down, you can actually get your kit or whatever. Just thought, throw it out there. If not, no big deal. Right?
Yeah.
Or you know what? Or this other one. Oh, well, if you're not interested, is there anyone else that would be interested in doing this?
Yeah.
Let me know. Send them my way.
I know this isn't for you, but do you know anybody who would like to earn some extra money?
Yes. Oh my God. Speaking of which, okay, so there's a recent that happened to me, right? So the same friend that recruited me into For Life had came to me again, and she was like, oh, I'm over here thinking she's actually catching up with me, right? She's literally catching up. After like maybe 30 minutes of the conversation, she's like, oh girl, before you let go, I was wondering if you want to take a look at this side gig that I have going on. Emails. And I'm like, okay. She's like, I made 2,500. And I'm like, I had that face like, okay. I'm like, you made 2,500. Okay. I'm like, why are you still working at your job? And she's like, oh, but it's not really that fast. I was just lucky for that month or whatever, whatnot. I was like, yeah, it's the same thing. Any side gig to me is the same thing. You still have to invest money to work hard. It'll still take my time. It's not a side gig. It's still a scam. And she's like, oh, all you have to do is just click on it and stuff and you get paid for that. Okay. And then I had another one that told me, oh, all you have to do is just watch commercials or watch videos and you get paid $25 for it or something, or you get 2,500 for X amount of videos that you watch. So you mean to tell me I have to, well, I watch TV anyway. Why should I mean, how do I get paid to watch TV? So, I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there, you guys. Like, people are gonna come at you, and make sure you have a rebuttal after a rebuttal, and make sure you stand firm at what you do. Block them if you have to, but if they're a real friend, they would stop. Because what I realized during my healing process too, I had to filter out people from my social medias also, and I have a lot of them that's still in part of network marketing. But because I stood firm and I stood like, really, I'm really adamant that I don't want nothing to do with multi-level marketing or even like a coaching group or anything like that. Like, they understood. So to me, I feel if they understood and they're still willing to still be part of your life and still be your friend, keep those. Like, literally appreciate those friendships, because a lot of the times people will just turn their back on you because you're no longer part of the group. And that's what it is when you're part of a cult. Like, oh, she's the enemy now. We don't like her.
Yeah.
It's like Mean Girls. You know, you're part of this clique, right? And then all of a sudden, when one of them turns rogue, it's like, we hate her. Like, we hate everything about her. So it's like they basically pass judgment after all the shit that you probably had helped them with in life ends up turning into, oh, that was just because you were part of this at the time. So it's like meaningless.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I gave you like my time and efforts to help you. I even opened my house up to you because you, as a human, you know, I feel for you. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like to just have a friendship over because you're no longer part of a group or you're no longer part of the company. It's like, oh, well, that's like a big fuck you to your face, you know? So I just thought to let you guys know, you know, everybody's healing process is different. Mine was diving into a lot of books, especially with self-help, psychology. Stephen Hassan, like I said, watch a lot of Julie's videos, guys. Julie's and Jennifer's videos, Aaron and whoever else is like in the anti-MLM community as well. I think I started looking into Marco.
Always Marco. Yeah.
Yes, I started looking into him too because I saw him do an interview with you, I believe. So I was just like, oh, I need to check him out. And then there's Mac Attack.
Another great creator. Yes.
Yeah. So I followed him too, and I started seeing how he was breaking down Ray Higdon's video. And it's so funny because with Mac Attack's video, when he was breaking it down with Ray's with Ray's video, how he's like he's a prophet. And I remember that video because that's when he started crying and stuff. And I remember that I was commenting, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like I felt like so sorry for Ray that he was going through this. And I was just like, damn, so he turned to God and this is what happened, you know, whatever. And I'm thinking that was a good thing. But I didn't realize that segue was, I'm gonna scam you more for your money.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was crazy. So that was my healing process is, you know, watching anti-MLM content, especially from Julie and Jen, and then the other people like Mark and Mac, Aaron, that helped tremendously. And then I was reading like emotional intelligence, if you guys read that, or How Full Is Your Bucket, that one too. There was other books that I have too. Declutter Like a Mother, that one helped me. So yeah, I mean, like I said, everybody's healing process is different. I came up strong because I had Julie, I had you. So I thank you so much for actually speaking out, because if it wasn't for you, I think I'd still be part of the industry, you know? And even with Jen, it made it more official. Like I need to get out because she was a coach. So she knows everything behind the scenes of what happened, you know? And I'm just hoping my friends would get out soon because they're still part of the group. And, you know, I haven't spoken with them for a while because I wanted to keep myself, you know, keep my distance, because I didn't want where we end up having this argument type of thing and then we don't become friends ever again, you know? So I just leave it as, okay, it's a hi and bye type thing. Hey, how you doing? It's whatever, you know? And I try my best not to bring up like business or anything with rank makers with them. But I hope they wake up, and I hope they wake up soon.
I have one more question for you.
Sure.
What would you say to someone who is starting to wake up? They're starting to question, maybe like this now is, you know, you're contributing like just in the form of comments that you have left all over social media. And then also like now you speaking out, people seeing you, it's going to be affecting people a lot. And it's going to stand, you know, as the years go by, as people continue to like start questioning from different companies. It doesn't even need to be from rank makers, but this is going to hit people because they know you and they know they know and like and trust you. Do you have any special message that you'd like to say to anybody that is currently in Rank Makers or maybe within one of your multi-level marketing companies that you'd like to share with them as they're starting to wake up? They're starting to look at they're starting to critically think. They're starting to look at content that's telling them, that's going against what they've been told.
Oh, man. I would say, man, because when I started waking up, how I felt, you're gonna have that feeling in your gut, like this isn't right. And then once you start to think outside the box is when emotions is gonna hit you. It's just a realization. It took me to have certain trigger words. So maybe with others it might be trigger words. It depends on what exposure they have consistently. So what helped me wake up fully is I consistently started seeing your content, Julie. It just, with the explanations of breaking down on how multi-level marketing or even with coaching with Ray, what it would do to you. And quite honestly, it devastated me. At first, I didn't want to believe it because, how I perceived you and how I saw you in Rank Makers, you were such a great influence in my life, especially with, content and just being brave in front of the camera. It made a whole big difference in my life. Like, even in anything I do, even now, today. And, I feel as though with my influence, what I'm afraid of is that I wouldn't be taken seriously. Because, like, oh, Jennie, you were so adamant and gung-ho, and this, you eat, live, and breathe freaking Rank Makers and multi-level marketing. Like, you're all about for life, because how I talked about the immune system, how I talked about the stupid molecule, how it can heal you and stuff. And this is why me and my family never get sick type of thing, and then to transition into, hey guys, I woke up. I'm no longer part of a cult. I'm no longer part of multi-level marketing. Now I'm speaking out little by little, guys. And it's like, how do I present that? That's why I stood away from social media for a while, because I wanted to find my identity again. Because what my audience know me as is I'm this princess of a video matrix marketing, person. And it's just like, Jennie, you're so full of life with everything. And then, I get messages on the daily, hey Jennie, how you doing? I miss your face. I hope you do your videos soon. I miss seeing your face type of thing. I miss your stories and everything. And when I see that, I feel like I'm an imposter. I feel like I feel like I'm a liar because of the stuff that I was told to do, I was taught to do. And just seeing all those messages, I'm like, man, did I really do that? Is that real? Is that even genuine? Because I felt I'm an imposter, because all the teachings that Ray did and the videos that he did, I was just like, if I would just be like him, I would be successful on growing an audience and they would just love me. So, yeah.
I want to just say that you are intelligent. You woke up, and this has always been you. You were caught, you were trapped, you were lured in, and you were coerced into commercial cults. But your identity, it was always you. There's like this other shit that gets put on top of us, but that genuine authenticity, that was you. The imposter is being in a multi-level marketing company. It has this weird residual Klingon dingleberry status. But that was you. Those people that are reaching out to you, it's because of who you were. You shone through the whole time. You are amazing at video. You woke up, you took the information in, you read books, you watched videos, you listened to podcasts, you did those things. That's your success. And you have my full support in whether you choose to speak out or you choose to just say, fuck it, I'm done. Whatever. And you can change your mind as often as you want to, because on the outside of this, everything is your choice. It's your control. And you're my friend. And I'm honored to call you my friend.
Thank you. That means a lot. Like I said, it was sorry.
You have to apologize.
It's been yeah, because I felt in my experience, I know everyone's different, but with me, I am the type of person that is more of connection of the heart. I'm more of a person that wants to be of something to the community or to the world. So that's why joining rank makers, I felt I was part of a community. I felt I was part of something that was purposeful. But little did I know it was a cult. And I'm just like, to wake up to learning that everything was just a business transaction, that hurts even more. And I don't know, I mean, there's some people that I've seen that speak out that came from rank makers. I don't know if they feel the same way as me and you, with the whole being part of a community, being part of something that's big, something meaningful. And like I said, I still stand by my dream of just I want to coach, but I don't want to coach like Ray.
You
And
won't. You won't. That's
You know-
one thing. That's one thing I've learned is like when you start healing from this and you start to, you're connecting with other people, whether it's publicly or just privately, but we're making sure that we're not going to repeat this behavior. That's like the number one thing.
Exactly. And like I said, I want to mean something to the world. That's why I said, like, I needed to stay away from social media for a while, because I'm like, I have to reclaim my identity again, and I have to come back where I can recommit myself to being consistent now, like to rebrand myself on who I am and all that stuff. Because like I said, for 8 years I was known to be, I mean, I'm sorry, for like 18 years or so, I've been known to be part of multi-level marketing. I'm this video matrix princess, and it's hard where you're trying to re re re-identify yourself, if that makes sense.
It
So
does.
it's yeah, so that's where I'm at right now, is where I'm trying to reclaim who I am and what I mean to this world. That's basically my main thing. And a lot of people are like, Jennie, it's just social media. No, it's not.
No,
Not with what I want to do.
no,
You
it's not.
know
It's
what?
not. And that's just it's too easy to just trivialize it and dismiss it. It's like they're missing it. You're still connected to so many people that are involved in multi-level marketing. And most of our friends, when we're in it, are other people in multi-level marketing. It's not so simple as being like, well, just do whatever at social media. There's still like the aspect like of being in a cult, and then all these people that we're connected to. It's like it's not the wider audience. There's not like these other people. It's like it takes time for that
Yeah.
to transition. And there's people that when you do any kind of post that you make, they come out because they have to, because that's what happens in these cults. I'm so sorry that was your experience, but that certainly hasn't been mine. There's no need to bash the industry. You're just hurting other people's livelihoods. I thought you were about empowering women. This doesn't look like empowering women to me. Jennie does it. All of this stuff, it's predictable. And it's not as simple as just like saying it's social media, So I want to just validate your feelings there.
Yeah, because to me, it's like, not everyone sees social media like how I see it, because me, like I said, I want to mean something. I want where I'm helping who I used to be. I was a single mom raising 4 children, and then I was in an abusive relationship too. And it's like, I want them to know that if I got out, even with multi-level marketing in a coaching group, like, even though I got out, but look where I'm at, look what happened to me right now. I want to help those, and that's why this was important to me, that I shared it, because I'm like, there's people that are afraid. I was afraid because of like backlash and all this other stuff. But then I'm like, you know what? Who am I helping if I don't speak my piece? Like, what's the purpose of me saying I want to empower and help I myself can't help myself, you know? So it's like, I wouldn't want my influence to be tarnished either. But at the same time, it's like, if it did, then those people weren't meant for me. Then maybe I have room
Absolutely.
for more.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that is my spiel. Got emotional there. But I mean, but it happens.
It's huge. It's a hell of an experience that you've lived through. You've come out the other side swinging.
Yes, indeed. And you know what? It gets better. It only gets better, guys. And the healing process sucks. Don't get me wrong, but feel it. If you have to cry about it like I did a few times and come up with these connecting the dots, go for it. Just know that it's gonna be better. Just do better. That's all.
Because anything is possible.
Yes, indeed. The shirt says it. Oh my god, this is a great experience, like, ever. Like, oh my god, like, oh, I feel so much better. It feels like a weight has lifted off. Like, this is definitely like, oh my god, this was therapeutic for me.
Yeah. Telling our stories is like, this is like life on the outside of this. It's really neat, and you're going to be helping a lot of people. You've already helped a lot of people. You already are, just by being you, and now, and with this added to all of the stuff that you've done before, even when you're in multi-level marketing, you're helping people. You touch people's lives, and you're doing the same thing now. So thank you very much.
Thank you for this. And I appreciate everything you've done for the anti-MLM community. And I want to give you a big thank you. And I appreciate you for all of this. Like, if it wasn't for you, like I said, if it wasn't for your influence and just, you being a great friend and being a great presence on online, like, this wouldn't have happened for me. So I want to thank you for changing my life. Literally. And Jennifer too.
Yeah.
Jennifer,
Jen, you know what? Thank you, but I need to, like, I accept this, but I also just want to say too, it's like, you were the one that did this. This was, yes, there's exposure to content, but you made the decision. The success is yours. I want to just put it back. You have you to thank. And I just want to, it's you. You made the decision. You watched the content. You did it. You got yourself out. And I just want to make that clear, because this is about, like, taking your identity back. And I appreciate that, but this really, you made this happen.
Thank you. Yeah, it was, well, that's kind of hard too. Cause it's like, you're used to, that's what I'm working on too, is accepting compliments. Because, being part of like something like that, it was hard, because we were always taught to edify.
Yeah. And it's like, it's complicated. I'm still so there you go. I'm Gen X, so it's like, it's a mess.
But you know what? You Gen X are amazing. I wish I had more friends of Gen X though. You're like my only Gen X friend I have.
Hey! There's not many of us left. We're dying out. There was never many of us to begin with.
I mean, I guess, like, being out here sometimes, I mean, I come across like Gen Xers, but they're standoffish. So I'm just, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought you'd be friendly like Julie. She's a Gen X. How are you, like, just standoffish? Maybe you need coffee.
Yeah, that's really just coffee and to take a shit. Usually that's just the problem. And some cheese. Just give any Gen Xer a piece of cheese. It'll, like, smooth things over. Unless they're vegan, then vegan cheese.
You know what? I'm going to try that. You want cheese? I got cheese.
Exactly. The Baby Bell. That's a top secret tip. Yeah. You like,
oh my God. And then be like, oh, okay. This is how I make friends with Gen X. Okay, so this is it, you guys. I hope you guys learned from this and enjoyed this whole conversation as well. But like I said, if you guys are thinking or even being awake, take heed to what I say and stay with your gut feeling and just keep waking up. That's all I gotta say, because once you realize, when you fully wake up, it's gonna be it's going to be a heck of an emotional roller coaster. So I'll leave you guys with that.